Facebook. Okay, so got it. We're all wired and ready to go. Very good. And there's half a Leela Moy here. But how many times can we say, please sit inside the camera? All right, dear devotees, we are here together. Let us begin as we should with something auspicious. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurum Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyanandana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Prarayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goptṛtve Namaha Vanchakapatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Welcome all devotees. Happy to see each of you, see some of your names and some of your forms. And happy Jai Gauranga Prabhu, you're here with us too, with tall Mahaprabhu, the Golden Lord. And we're happy to hear Jai Gauranga Prabhu again rendering some service, volunteering each week for service at Govinda Dham. What is surrender? Smile and say yes. So very beautiful. Kamala Devi Rasi, we only briefly had your association recently, but happy to have you here on Back to Basics. And to each of you, and to Basil, regularly with us, Hare Krishna, to Dana, to Gangalila, to Kamala, yes, I mentioned Rupa Nuga Prabhu, to Bhima Krishna Prabhu, and to Maheshwari Devi Rasi. And top left on our screen is Rupa Devi Rasi. She is the first one here. And here we have Aparajita Devi Rasi, Thai devotee number 2. She is the second Thai devotee after Krishna Priya Devi Rasi. And she's a credit to her nation. We can say everyone's very pleased with her mood. And she's singing and now doing the aratis also, and learning so many things, learning and sharing Thai cooking. So now our Leela Moy Prabhu also Thai. And Ram Sundar Prabhu speaking Thai, but Aparajita cannot understand his Thai. It is some special Thai of Govinda Farm Thai. Paramananda, Krishna Priya, and Ram Sundar talking Thai together, and Aparajita sitting. What are they saying? And Rupa Nuga Prabhu, Jai Gurudev, Jai Guru Maharaj. Rupa Nuga Prabhu, we were in India, my last moments in India were with Rupa Nuga Prabhu in Puri, and we are looking forward to more moments in India, in Jagannath Puri with Rupa Nuga Prabhu and several devotees coming up soon. So that's taking shape. The pilgrimage is taking shape, and here we are almost in Puri, really. Those of you who've been here, you know that the Govinda Farm is very much like the atmosphere of India, and especially we can think when we read Chaitanya Charitamrita, quite like the atmosphere of those days before motor cars and the horn was invented and all of these things. Motor cars and motorcycles is one thing, but the continuous hooting of the horn, bop, 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 then that invention wasn't so good. Motorcycles and motor cars have some function, but hooting of the horn has no function whatsoever, except to make a disturbance in the environment. Anyway, pollution of the environment, it is sound pollution. But worse than sound pollution is ether pollution, when the lies are told, when the scriptures are being interpreted in basically a lying way, which is not the way that the Lord intended, that the scriptures are used to justify animal slaughter, used to justify all sorts of things, and used in order to try to get money, name and fame, and all kinds of misuse of devotional scripture. And so in this world, we do know about pollution, sound pollution, air pollution. We were walking the other day, and two small motorbikes, like 50cc, little baby motorcycle, came by. And the air from those two motorbikes were sitting there going, ah. But it's only because we were in the national forest nearby, and we'd been walking by that time for 5 hours in the national forest without any sign of vehicles or anything. And then two motorbikes, when we came onto the road, well, kind of a road, when we came onto the little kind of a road, two motorbikes came, and the pollution lingered for a few minutes after they'd passed by. And we think, well, the cities, that's what people are inhaling 24 hours a day. But pollution is there, but there must be something opposite of pollution. And that is the Vaishnavas, the actual Vaishnavas, and the actual holy name of the Lord. So here we are with Vaishnavas. I'm sitting far away from the camera. Here is Paramananda Prabhu, he just came. We're up in the sky, what we've called the sky shala. And here you can also, in the distance, have darshan of Giriraj and of the photos of Guru Maharaj and Gurudev's deities of Navadip Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhava Govinda Sundarju. Hare Krishna. Oh, so this is, I'm using a very old Japanese wooden table. Some of you have seen it recently. Very heavy, not portable, but functional, because we've been able to pick the computer up a little. Okay, so here we are at Govinda Farm, and we are happy to be in an environment that reminds us of West Bengal, reminds us of Orissa, of Jagannath Puri, an environment which is conducive for Krishna consciousness. It is normally quiet as we speak. A 50cc motorbike just pulled up. I don't know if you could hear it. Anyway, now it stopped. So anyway, at the present time, just so that you can catch up with our programs, at the present time we are going through Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur's Saranagati, and we're in the section, or have been in the section, of accepting what is favorable for devotional service. And so a favorable environment is also, an environment can be favorable for us. And of course, the association and so many things which are favorable. And here in this favorable environment, then we are happy to have a chance to share something about the basics of devotional service. So back to basics. Who first has any question or comment? Ishtadevika joined us. We greet Ishtadevika also. Hare Krishna. First, does anybody have any question or any comment? You've all come to join us today. Rupa Nuga Prabhu, you put up your hand. If it was an auction, you'd have purchased a $500,000 art fake masterpiece. Just see. Rupa Nuga Prabhu, you are in Thailand, you are nearby, relatively speaking, in a favorable environment. And you may even be beside the ocean, which makes it even more like Jagannath Puri. There you are, Jai.
Yes, I have a bungalow on the beach, right on the beach. And there is no one around. There's no noise pollution, no motorbikes, no cars. And I did about 8 rounds of japa this morning. Nobody around to be offended. And yeah, it's blissful. Thank you.
Beautiful. And this morning, I was happy to have company in the Kirtan Shala for chanting japa before the Arati, before the morning Arati. So the Kirtan Shala still is calling devotees to come early in the morning before Arati to chant japa. Just a reminder for everyone present. Hare Krishna. But I did have company this morning, so I'm happy for that. Mayeshwari Devirasi, what to Oh, well, we disappeared. And Mayeshwari, did you? I'm not sure if you said anything while we were away, because I was just introducing you. But would you like to say a few words? Because you look like you would like to share something or ask something.
Oh, Dandavats Maharaj, and all assembled. I'm very sleepy tonight, I must say. Just thinking about favorable circumstances and really the privilege of being able to offer service. I've been spending a lot of time with a friend who her husband just passed away. And he was also a longtime friend, a doctor in our community, a holistic doctor, a very good man, person. And so I've just been doing, what feels like service to his memory and to, my friend, supporting her in her grief. And yeah, it just kind of takes a little bit of a toll, you know. I feel a little sleepy.
Have you been able to introduce some idea from Bhagavad Gita and the continuation?
Oh, they're very familiar with that. These are they're yogis, they were initiated disciples of Swami Rama from the Himalayan master. So the Himalayan Institute. So yeah, they're very familiar. We read chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita, and for 5 days after he passed, he had requested that people do, Gayatri in his honor. And I think what that meant to a lot of people in his community was the one that we women don't do. So I just did, the Gayatri that you gave me. And in, especially the morning, I just dedicated that to his soul, having a good passage and illumination. And, it felt nice to have an actual practice to do in his honor. So that's what's been going on here.
And that is valuable, the good wishes of the devotees. And there are so many kind of pretentious things that go on in the name of religion. But what's come from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj is the opposite of pretentious. It is the substantial path. And so however we can connect anyone with that, however we can share that auspiciousness, then that is very auspicious. Then that is very substantial, helpful for the other person. So the good wishes of the devotees. And a reality check when these things happen. close to us, then we are reminded that we are just lining up in the airport to go through the exit passport control, and then we're going to find out to which gate we've been assigned. And so we need to just be faithful in our own journey, and we are witnessing the journey of others. And I think, I mean, everybody does, unless in their life, really, they don't have any old relatives or any friends that have passed away. Everybody witnesses death. Everybody witnesses birth. And of course, we are the first witness of our own birth, and we are the first witness of our own passing away as well. And we have died, each of us, many times before. Again, it will be familiar when we are taken from our body. When we are taken or when we leave our body, or again, this is happening to me. So this is the very rare time, Sudurlabha, very rare time right now, that we've got proper connection, the human body, proper connection, and rare upon rare upon rare upon rare when we see the big picture given to us by Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj. So these things are all there to wake us ourselves up, that today we must be a sincere devotee and not leave it to the future. And which is why we're all here, to encourage us today to be a good devotee. Hare Krishna. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita here, we've been reading Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami. And there, loud and clear, I mean, loud but very clear, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is pointing out the extreme rarity of the human life with the tendency to really search after reality, the beautiful, and not just after comforts or liberation, relief from our sins. And then on top of that, the rarity of getting a genuine connection in the descending current. So Mahaprabhu is teaching, he's teaching Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami in his writings is sharing all of these things. So we hear directly from Mahaprabhu. We also hear from Rupa Goswami, and Mahaprabhu is saying several Sanskrit verses which Rupa Goswami collected and put in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu for our wake up call. So every day we have to wake up, and every day we have to engage in Shravanam Kirtanam, as you all know, because you all by now watched that video. I think maybe I better not ask her directly. Gangalila last week, she said, oh, I didn't do my homework. So we didn't include her in asking about what did you get from that recording, like what stood out from you from the recording. But probably all of you or most of you have seen by now that recording of Srila Gurudev in the Sokal temple, and discussing various aspects, but so substantial, about devotional life. Hare Krishna. Gangalila Devidasi, may we ask you, did you watch? It doesn't matter if
Oh
you answer.
dear.
Oh dear.
You
Okay.
caught me. No, I was in the Monday Sangha where Chinmoy Prabhu was showing the latest one. So I felt like, oh, I just watched something, and I must say it was really good to relate. And no, I'm flunking because I still didn't watch it. I'm also having a history of finding it in general really difficult. I am extremely distracted when there's a lot of coughing going on, and there's some videos where Maharaj is coughing, where Gurudev is coughing a lot, and it just throws me off. So that's not an excuse. You just say I'm just basically admitting how it's not easy for me. So being in a sangha and watching it together, so much better. I can do that very well. So that was a nice service on Monday, just doing that together. And it's funny, but I do remember what everybody else was, what people were commenting on it. So I feel like I got like a second hand listening from what was received, and that's also very precious. That in itself, what people were saying about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're ahead of us also in one sense, because only yesterday was that made available publicly. And I asked Udaran Prabhu, who's in the background, the host. And so I did see the beginning of that, but I've not seen the whole of the Monday Zoom yet, but look forward to that. But saw that it was Srila Gurudev talking in California, but this time he was in San Jose, the San Jose. And I heard part of it only, but there, part of it also, part of the infinite is also infinite. And Gurudev saying that about Rishabdev, mentioning about, we are so fortunate that in our lives we have had the association of pure devotees. Something like this he was saying. And then he mentioned about Rishabdev, how really he was giving so much honor to Rishabdev. There's a bird chasing a piece of... Will he get it? There's a bird here building a nest, and we are sitting here, and he's got a perfect piece to put in his net, but he was watching us, and you see, he's thinking, shall I go with these humans there or not? But he got it. Anyway, he's making a nest here so that he can hear Hare Katar and he can attend the morning Arati every day without getting out of bed, without getting out of his nest. Anyway, yes, so in a way, Gangalili, you're ahead of us because you heard the Monday Zoom. And by the way, if you want to mention about like being distracted when Gurudev or somebody's coughing and so many things, the Zoom that we were referring to, the one when he was in the Sokal ashram, it is one part of that, one aspect of that, is how Gurudev is focused even when there are all sorts of distractions going on around. And I mean, really, it was one of the many qualities of Gurudev. He's got something to say, and somebody there is listening. He's talking for those who will listen to him. And we can hear others having conversations, and others are doing this, others are doing that. But Gurudev, he clears away all the other things, and he's just talking his Hare Katha, and not say, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you talking like this? We are feeling like this, but not Gurudev. Gurudev, he's got his substance and he's got his focus on what he's transmitting. So we can all relate to the fact that, sometimes there are so many distractions going on, but we have to be clear to our duty, what is taking place. I remember one time in Australia, Rupa Nuga Prabhu, then it wasn't with you, it was when we were on our bus tour with Abhinavasundar Kelly and Surashanpu Rai Kishori, their family and others from Australia. We went on a bus preaching tour. And I remember one place that we talked at where they rented a hall and we've got the public coming. There were children there who were just kind of out of control. And, normally we would expect the parents to keep children under control if they're in a gathering which is, completely billed as spiritual, devotional, not just an entertainment. But I remember like very consciously having to just block out all the craziness of these children and the noise that they were making, and just, focus on talking to whoever may be listening within that group. Hare Krishna. I'm being distracted, this bird. This bird. Oops. Oh, no. The wind is blowing the straw towards us, and the bird is trying to catch the straw and take it back. But now the straw is coming very close to it. I'm sorry, little bird. You see, the nature very similar to our nature, but he's a bird. And so, I mean, it's just animals. They're very similar to our nature. They're building a nest, they're making a home. They get hot, they get cold, they get tired. They're born, they grow old, they're trying to save their life. They're afraid of things. Like us. And the bird's still trying to get this bit of, yes. Okay. Okay, now he's got it. And it's like 3 times his size. And he's flown up to his nest. All right, so we shall not be distracted by this bird anymore. And wish him, she, probably, I do not know. Wish him well in his household life, his next life. Hare Krishna. Ishtadevika Devirasi. Yeah, we are giving you the opportunity to talk first this week. And Bhima Krishna, I know he's already got something to say.
Dandavats, I actually had a different idea, but which I'll share in a minute, but he just told me that I should update you guys about the kids class I've been doing. Since the Govinda Mela, we just, this 2 evenings ago, had our 3rd monthly Zoom meet with the like preteen teen group. And it's been going really well, really sweet. We've had a good group showing up, and right now Rai Kishori is supporting them and learning a kirtan, Shri Guru Charana Padma. So everybody took turns repeating, and she kind of, was walking them through the pronunciation and meaning and everything. So yeah, so that's been a big focus, getting that rolling last few months and trying to coordinate with everyone. We have people all the way through the states, so some all the way on the East Coast. They're 3 hours ahead, so it's been a little tricky trying to coordinate all the schedules. But yeah, we've done a few of those. And then something I shared with them, that's something that's been repeatedly coming up, Saranagati, which you mentioned at the beginning. I feel like they're kind of are phases where there's like reoccurring themes, and that seems to be the current one, like from some classes I heard you giving, and then the Sunday program in Sweet Lake City. Sudarshan was speaking on it, and there was one part where he was sort of, they had a couple guests, newcomers there, and so he sort of paused to just share a little bit of explaining what Sharanagati is to them. And so it was like sort of, putting it simply, but like super sweet and super in depth. And so I ended up going and like transcribing a little bit of what he had said. So I will share that. So this is Sudarshan speaking. He said, Sharanagati is translated in English as surrender, but what it's communicating is adjusting our relationship with reality from one that is fearful and suspicious to one that can let go and actually turn into our existence and embrace it. And that requires a feeling of trust. Goptṛtve varanam, embracing his guardianship. And I actually ended up writing like 3 full minutes, but I'm going to leave it at that simple introduction. But for anyone who's interested, it's like starts right around the 34, 35-minute mark on the Facebook, YouTube class. But the whole class is really beautiful. But that just little section of him explaining that Sunday really stood out to me. And it's just from their most recent Sunday program this past Sunday. So I highly recommend checking that out. But had to write that part down because it just really was.
And can you send a link for that URL? Are you able to do that? Where we can, because you're suggesting we watch it, but
yes, I can maybe add it to, are you on Facebook as well right now?
Well, I never see anything anyone puts on Facebook, so please excuse me.
We had a hard
Messages.
time adding things on the phone while we're using the phone for the class, but I'll find it on my phone and text it to him, and we'll try to add it into the chat box.
Okay, yep, sure.
Dhanyavad.
Because what gives one person, what gives you inspiration also is very likely to give us inspiration too. And Rai Kishori and Surashan Prabhu, they're very experienced at talking to children. Actually, to talking to all, from the very youngest all the way through to the very oldest, but all the way through. And quite like ageless. I see them able to talk to teenagers with all their, teenager dramas going on, just as readily as if they were a teenager. Where I have to say, sometimes I'm a bit bewildered about what goes through teenagers' minds, but they seem to do it very well. I was never a teenager. I've always been this age. Okay, I know. Hare Krishna. Anyway, they're very compassionate. I think this is probably the word that we can use, very compassionate and tolerant. You are also tolerant to treat, talk and communicate with children. And we have a family who their livelihood became, actually, they was always like doing good for others, but they started a preschool school. So it's like kindergarten, but really from very young. I'm not sure the very youngest, but I mean very young, like babies. They looked after children while their parents were working. And this is Jai Sri Devidasi and her family in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And it's very much, like cities are, a place where the husband works and the wife works. And so to look after the children during the day, during part of the day, all the day, and they were, I can say, extremely tolerant. I would go there sometimes and we'd try to communicate something to the children about Krishna consciousness, birth, death, old age, disease, chant Hare Krishna. Anyway, we would go to there, to be with them and support them with what they're doing. But I have to say, you need a lot of tolerance to deal with the young children. And they are doing that day after day. And they were so good at it, they did not need to advertise, because just word of mouth, they were always overbooked. They just by word of mouth, and they were so caring and affectionate with the children. Hare Krishna. So, Bhima Krishna, what were you going to add to what Ishtadevika gave?
Oh, Dhanyavad Maharaj, Dhanyavad to everyone. I don't really know what to add to her. I was actually thinking of Jagannath Puri, and I was actually curious about what all your plans are, like where you're planning to go. But I was also thinking about just the importance of going with devotees and who know these places and know the proper mood. And when I went there, I was with a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. But I remember we went to the Gambhira, and we're sitting there, and there are these other like devotees or other people there, and they're chanting. But, they weren't chanting the Maha Mantra. They were chanting different names of Krishna, but like I think it's like Sahaja. But at the time, we're kind of sitting there and sort of chanting along because I didn't know any better, and the other devotee with me also didn't know better. So I think it's just really important that we go, with devotees like yourself, Maharaj, who can give us guidance and instruction, and follow Srila Gurudev and Srila Guru Maharaj and what their conception is, and not to be, because if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, ignorance is one thing, but just if you can go with devotees. Anyway, it's really, really beautiful. I just kind of reflecting on some of my memories of being there. It's the first place I've ever ridden with 3 people on a motorbike, so that was interesting. But anyway, I don't really have a whole lot to say, but just thinking about that, I hope you all have a blessed trip, and I hope it's a beautiful experience for you all. And yeah, anyway, if you'd like to maybe say if you have any idea of where you'll go or what your plans are, I'd be interested to kind of hear. And if not, that's okay too. Dandavats too, all.
Actually, Bimal Krishna, the plan is that devotees will come together, like-minded devotees will come together happily. We're going to have a 10-day retreat, like we had a retreat here, but it's going to be in Jagannath Puri. And so that means we'll have the opportunity to visit day by day some different places, the main places, and different places of Puri, where it's not the idea that we're going to every day do many kilometers, parikrama, etc. But morning program of Chaitanya Saraswat Mata, evening program of Chaitanya Saraswat Mata, and day we'll have different like workshops, classes, whatever it may be. But we'll also have this in the context of Jagannath Puri. And we've got the places there that Gurudev went, that Guru Maharaj went, where Srila Bhaktivinod Thakur lived, where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was born, in fact. And there are various places, and we're not going though as tourists, but devotees want to go to India. We see this. They want to go. India has got the magic thing, but also Puri is one of the 3 rooms which are considered the 3 principal places for us, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. First is Navadip, then we're the second or third, but first is Navadip, and then we have Vrindavan and we have Jagannath Puri. And Mahaprabhu himself took shelter in Jagannath Puri. So for time, place, and circumstance, we're having Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Maharaj. So that mood, the activities, the program, and with that, the pilgrimage mood of being in Jagannath Puri, where Srila Gurudev, the first place that Gurudev traveled to extensively with Guru Maharaj, and where Srila Gurudev received his Harinam initiation. And Gurudev going to Puri, we've been with him several times. I'm not sure if I could even count that year, but we went several times to Puri with Srila Gurudev, sometimes driving him, sometimes on the train with him, sometimes separately from him. He's going by flight, we're going by car, whatever it may be. But when he was in Jagannath Puri, then Gurudev, he was very relaxed and relieved in some sense, because he didn't have the immediate daily worries of managing Navadip and, in a way, Calcutta. Calcutta still was needing a lot of attention, and Calcutta, the place of doing many official things for the mat. So kind of a lot of other things, savor items, of course, drawing on Gurudev's attention. But when he came to Puri, really, he was always sharing some of the mood of being with Guru Maharaj there. And when he went to Puri, he was always in some special kind of mood, beautiful mood. So we are going to Puri, not for taking photographs or anything else, but we are going there actually for Sadhu Sangha, the devotees coming together, an excuse to come together. And the main thing is the devotee association, chanting the holy names together. And probably we're going to be watching video together. That's what we do. As you know, we come here to Thailand and we sit beside Gurudev, we sit beside Guru Maharaj, and we sit with them. So this way, through the modern media, we're able to do these things. And this year, the devotees have arranged a complete guest house, which have hosted other devotee groups before, and they've been recommended. So we've got some reasonable facility for the devotees. So, we never know exactly what format everything takes until it happens. Like any journey, when you start your journey, you're going into the unknown. So we're going to have the pilgrimage. It's kind of a journey. And so let's see how everything works out. But, we can only say that with the hearts of so many good devotees who are showing interest, with the location of Jagannath Puri, and with the association of those whose hearts have been melted in Puri, in the association of Gurudev and the devotees. And as you pointed out, protected from many things which would be other, or can be our, not downfall necessarily, but can be disadvantageous to us. And that one example you gave, where if we are young or we're new and we go to a holy place and we're in like such a special place and they're doing a kind of kirtan, then we can think, oh, there we are, we've got an example. They do it there, so we do it. But Guru Maharaj and Gurudev were heavily against that kirtan that was done there. It's Sahajya kirtan, it's invented, and it is mishmash. It is not, no need to explain too much, but whatever you remember of that kirtan, wash it away from your mind. And this way, when we know what's right and what's wrong, we can be protected from ourselves, spending the rest of our lives singing something which is wrong, the rest of our lives thinking things which are wrong. If we go somewhere and we're told this, that, and the other, we may think that for the rest of our lives. But we need to get the guidance of Gurudev and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. And so always referring there to what they've given and trying to keep ourselves safe, but everybody safe with us. We're on a boat together. We want the whole boat to be safe, not just the cabin that we're in on the boat. We want the whole boat to reach the other shore safely.
Maharaj,
Hare Krishna.
I'm sorry. I was just curious. Will that be streamed while you're there? Will anybody be streaming, or maybe?
I expect so, but I don't know that detail is being discussed as yet, but I expect so. And you can say by popular demand, by Bimal Krishna Guru demand, by popular demand. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some streaming, because part of doing anything these days, it is also including others. Just like we are seated here in the Sky Shala, in this, the upstairs rice barn, if you like, with birds building nests this side and this side, by the way. We're up here and we're able to be together and do kirtan, read, etc. But we're also able to nourish whoever sort of joins us through the internet. So yes, it will be streamed, Prabhu, but what detail will get a little nearer the time. But you do make a point. It's only 2 months away, or in 2 months and a bit. We're on the 13th of November already. So yes. And here's Paramanand Prabhu sitting with a microphone, but sitting very quietly. And so I'm going to turn the camera around. He's very tall and he's not able to sit down cross-legged on the floor. So we're going to be turning the camera a bit and turning it upwards. And Paramanand will always able to give us some substance for our sentiment of Krishna consciousness, if you like. Paramananda. That's his body. That's a head on the body. There we are.
Still got a head. You should have seen Maharaj's arrangement.
What arrangement?
He's the perfect example of Yukta Vairagya. You can use something that cannot be used otherwise. Really, it can be only discarded or garbage, and you can engage the garbage in the service. And that's a whole different level. I mean, engaging in new technology, yeah, that's understandable. We can relate to that. But engaging something that have no purpose at all anymore, that is a special grace of the Vaishnava.
Like what? I do not.
Like I said, you should have seen it.
Hare Krishna.
Well, we're sitting here listening to all of you, Maharaj speaking and watching the birds building nest. And really, they're a good example. It's not so easy. It's very difficult, apparently, for a bird. Bird doesn't have any hands. Got 2 legs, 2 wings, and 1 beak. And they're only using their beak to pick it up and the beak to manipulate the straws. And really, I mean, if you look at the ready nest, it's a piece of art. And you can think, how is that possible? And someone's saying that the animals have no brain. Sometimes they go as far as say that they have no soul. But then I'm watching this bird and I'm thinking, I'm much less a craftsman than that bird. And very considered that they're doing that. And another good point about these birds, what's the word? Perseverance?
Oh, yes, perseverance.
Perseverance.
Keep
here
on
you go,
going.
yes.
Yeah.
They keep on going. And that's a very good example for all of us in our pursuit of Krishna consciousness. Guru Maharaj included this beautiful verse, Bhumish Kalita Padanam, Bhumoya Vavalambalam, in Sri Prapana Jivanamritam, which is in essence saying that if you fall on the ground, that very ground will serve to you as a support. So we have to keep coming up. We may fall down many times, but it shouldn't discourage us. We should keep coming, keep continuing. And these birds are a perfect example. I mean, how many times they drop all the straw on the floor? Then it's being blown away by the wind. Now it's happening as we speak. And then again, they're coming and they're picking it up. And then in the end, there's just an empty spot. Didn't happen. The nest did not materialize somehow. But they keep going till the nest is built, till the family is built, and the eggs are laid, and the young hatchlings are there, and then soon they will be learning how to fly. So everywhere, that's the favorite theme of the Salt Lakers. Environment is friendly, and environment is always trying to guide us and teach us so many different things. So if you're observant, then you can see so many good examples are surrounding us. Yes, big piece of straw coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would see they're a little bit discouraged. They will just give it up, sit down, talk to each other, considering a divorce maybe. The man is saying, oh my God, I tried so hard. I mean, we've been watching these birds for the last week, at least. I'm noticing them for a week. They try to build in one corner, now they move to another corner. The wife probably said, no, it's a little bit too sunny over there. Let's go to a little bit of more shady. I like it there better. So the man's got to work. And just now, everything was ruined again, empty space, no straw left, and they're sitting down. Men went one corner, wife went another corner. He's considering, oh, maybe I should just take sannyas, And since I heard so many wonderful things from the devotees here, I should seriously consider that. Yatanu Charita Lila Karna Piyusha Viprut Sakrit Adana Vidhuta Tondva Dharma Vinashta Savadigi Hakutum Vadina Utri Jadina Bhagavari Havihanga Bhikshu Charyam Charanti. Another beautiful verse that is favored by our Guru Varga. And in that verse it is said that once you hear the message, once you hear about the glories of the Lord, the sweetness of the Lord, the beauty of the Lord, a drop of that nectar enters your ear and it turns you into mendicant. And in the verse, the comparison is the wandering bird, that birds fly here and there in hopes of finding another drop of nectar like that. And as the bird flies, desperately asking, where can I find these? Where can I find these? Where can I find these? And other birds are maybe asking, why do you need that? And then that bird is explaining what kind of wonder it can do to you. So, Vihanga Bhikshu, that's the word. Vihanga means bird, and Bhikshu means a wandering bird. Bhikshu also means a wandering, begging bird, like Tridandi Bhikkhu, sannyas. They're walking here and there, collecting madhukari, but they're not collecting madhukari in a form of food to satisfy their stomachs. No, they're looking for that opportunity where they can find that sweetness, the opportunity to talk about Krishna, to hear about Krishna. The rest is just this byproduct, the actual donations by the villagers and residents of the towns. But Madhukari means they're looking for that nectar, a chance to say something about Krishna, and even more, chance to hear about Krishna wherever they go. So these are the thoughts that I've been having while watching the birds doing that. There's so many wonderful comparisons in our Shastras about the birds, about Chatak birds, about Chakor birds. They're all mystical, beautiful, and really relevant. And they're giving us an example, actually. Like Chatak bird sustains itself only on the water coming from the rainy clouds. Nothing else, would not consider anything about exclusivity of and chastity and the loyalty. And the Chatak birds, Chakora birds, is sustained by the moonlight, which is very mystical. That goes even deeper into mellows of devotion. We have been hearing about the different mellows of devotion this morning from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Rupa Goswami. They are the scientists of rasa. And it is inconceivably beautiful. Cannot be understood, cannot be analyzed, and yet very attractive, even though we don't have full access to that ocean of rasa. We don't have the taste of that. But yet it is very attractive, and we don't want to give up. We just want to hear more and more and more. And what else? Pilgrimage. I guess the best way is just to come and experience it. But yes, we will try to stream as much as possible. And to be in a good company, like I did the same thing Bimal Krishna Prabhu did. I did the touring of the holy places, alone or in the company of others, but really without a substantial guidance. And that's what I also did. Exactly the same thing in different places. Not going there, well, at least respectfully going there. I'm always thinking, at least I was more or less a little bit humble and respectful to the places. That should do good to me. But to really understand what's going on in those places, you really have to go in the company of the Vaishnava. And from the capital letter, Vaishnava. And the Vaishnavas, like-minded people who really want to experience that. They want to participate in that. They draw enthusiasm and inspiration. What are they doing? Persevering on their path.
Confidence.
Yes, with confidence and faith.
Enthusiastic.
Yes, you cannot come there and see something with your eyes. That is impossible. You have to learn how to see things with your heart and through hearing. So from hearing, it enters your heart, and then if Lord is wishing so, if the Lord is very merciful to you, then everything will be revealed. So inspiration will come, some realizations will come, and then following Govinda Maharaj's advice, we're not to advertise what we receive, those revelations that came to us by the grace of the Vaishnavas and the Lord. We are to keep them locked in our heart. So continue being very humble. So the mood to go there is, of course, the mood of chanting the holy names. It's the same. But the environment there is even more intense. Speaking of environment, so we have to be even more careful, because those places like Puri is actually described non-different from Vaikuntha. Like it is. Sometimes they say it's non-different by extension. It's the expansion of the Dham, other places. But Puri is actual Vaikuntha planet. And there is such place in the Vaikuntha as the Puri Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham. And it is exactly the same as we observe it on the earthy plane. It's right, I mean, it's difficult to accommodate, difficult to understand, but just accept that fact. That's why in numerous scriptures and our guardians are saying that every resident of Puri is a fully liberated soul. Not just that, but they also have 4-armed form as the residents of Vaikuntha, including every living being.
and specifically mentions
Donkeys mentioned.
donkeys. Even the donkeys have 4 arms.
Fish, worms, insects. And I'm thinking sometimes insects have 6 legs. And then they get 2 more arms or 4 arms. That's it's inconceivable, so we shouldn't try. You see, this is what happens when you try to apply your brain and try to calculate. Okay, insects got 6 legs. Okay, where do another 4 fit in? How does the insect gonna look like? Anyhow, it's going to be a wonderful experience, and so much of Mahaprabhu Leela was actually in Puri and very dear to Srila Guru Maharaj, very dear to Srila Govinda Maharaj. Now, all of our Guru Varga, and Maharaj already mentioned, Bhaktivinod Thakur's house is there. And he is giving us Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur right in Puri Dham, right on the Grand Road, right in the time, almost in the time of Jagannath Puri Yatra.
Hare Krishna. Oh. And about perseverance, about persevering and going on. This week we've also, this week we've also been hearing from Guru Maharaj and from Srila Prabhupada in his commentaries too, about how we must never think, not only we must never think, devotees never think that they are now qualified devotees and they no longer have to hear and chant. And rather that any time that if we stop hearing and chanting, the very basis of our devotional life, Shravanam Kirtanam, then we will fall down. And a bird flying, the bird, he may be very smart bird and very strong, but if he stops flying, if he stops flapping his wings, oh, now I'm a qualified bird, he falls down. And swimming, when we swim, we are swimming. If we stop swimming, we go down. And so these are just mundane examples. But however long one may have been a devotee, however much realization, actual or imagined, is there, however much one thinks, oh, I'm so qualified in such a way, and stops to do hearing and chanting, then they will be sure to be caught by Maya, by illusion, will fall down into the enjoyment of this world. So we must be very careful also to persevere. The bird is persevering. We must persevere, but persevere happily, knowing we're doing the right thing to try to keep every day chanting and hearing and chanting, hearing and chanting, doing all the things that we are taught from our first day when we enter into a temple. Basically, chant your rounds. You know, we need to do these things and to hear from the scripture, to hear from the devotees, to sing the songs of Bhaktivinod Thakur, of Narottam Das Thakur, Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, Lokchan Das Thakur, and others, as given by our masters. So we're on a journey and we are keeping ourselves going by meeting together personally and meeting together like this, which is quite personal. We're with each of you happily. Jayanti, we're with you too. Hare Krishna. She's turned on her microphone, heard in TV. Hare Krishna. Good to
Hare
see
Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj, everybody in Thailand. So happy to see you.
What are you cooking? You're in the kitchen, right?
No, I'm not. I'm about to go and get some ingredients to cook. I'm going to cook a cake for the Lord because it's a devotee's birthday, and so I'm going to make a cake and then take it later on after the evening arti and take it to them. So that's what I'll be cooking.
So Mahaprabhu will be happy there's a birthday devotee there. Mahaprabhu will get some cake. Jai.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, anyway, Jayanti, welcome back to us. Yeah.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And we can see, right now I can see Mahaprabhu. He's on Jai Gauranga Prabhu's little window there. And I'm looking in the chat box, because there are 3 chats. Ishtadevika, she's put in the, she's put in the link to the children's class. So is it children or youngsters class? I don't know what age children it is.
That one is the
So-
Salt Lake City regular Sunday program, which is where I pulled the Saranagati quote from.
Oh, the Saranagati. Okay, perfect. Thanks for that reminder. Yes, and they are always giving some different light on this whole point of Saranagati. And Mayashri Devi saying, Dandavats, I have to leave a bit early. Oh, she's gone. Yes, a little bit early. All right, so yes, so dear devotees, do copy that URL if you wish to, and we'll be happy to see when we get a chance. And first in my queue is I want to catch up to see the rest of the San Jose video that Chinmoy Dev who did showed. He showed, I believe, he said he's going to show 20 minutes of that video. I saw it as 1 hour plus the whole thing, but he said he's going to show 20 minutes and then make some discussion about that. So I look forward to seeing that. And that is on the Bhakti Connect. Now it's on the Bhakti Connect channel of YouTube. So it'll be presumably the latest post. All right, devotees. By the way, sorry to come back to the bird, but the bird was standing on the handrail, and he was just standing there with his mouth open. He's been working hard, and it's quite warm, and he's looking all right. And then one big piece that he put in his nest, it fell down, and his head just came all the way, just followed it all the way down. It fell right over the edge. Then we can only think what he's thinking. And now another piece is here. So anyway, they are human, but they've got a bird's body. Anybody who's got a dog or a pet, they also know. Even rats. When I was a school kid, one night we didn't have, but one of our friends, they had rats as pets. But the rat, it has complete heart and humor and playful and all these things. You can also understand, the rat. He's a human, but he's got a rat body for the time being. So anyway, we are human and we've got a human body, which is kind of good. And so let us use our human body for something very valuable that we can do. We can make sure the course of our life goes in accordance with the direction of the Lord and his devotees. And that most magnanimous Lord is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's come to distribute freely love of God through chanting Hare Krishna. So we are connected there. Let us keep our head firmly there, and let us also be, as Bhagavan is saying, this chastity theme that Gurudev and Guru Maharaj gave so much. Let us be chaste to Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. Do the right thing. Accept the favorable. Reject the unfavorable. Chant Hare Krishna, and you will be happy. Hare Krishna. All right, dear ones. Jai Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivinod Govinda Goswami Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti
Jai.
Sridhar Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki
Jai.
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 Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Sri
Jai.
Chaitanya, Sri Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya
Jai.
Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai.
Sri Harinam
Jai.
Sankirtan ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanandi.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Karubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo.
Jai Srila Bhaktivinod Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Oh dear. If the bird was a bit bigger, I'd feed him to the birds.
Dandavats Maharaj.
He's too valuable to feed to an animal. He's here for Krishna's seva, service to the Vaishnavas, dasana, dasana, dasana. This is what we all pray to be engaged in. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Bol. Have a good week. We'll see you soon. Dandavat, Dandavat. Ashchi. And Swanam Girevidas is with us from St. Petersburg, quietly. Swanam, Jai Jai.